New players need a new place to learn the ropes, and this week the Hytale team gave us a small taste of what players can expect in Zone 1. My name is Codiak, and whether it flies in the air or crawls on the ground, today's video is all about the creatures players can expect to meet in Zone 1. By this point, people that follow Hytale know about the Trorks and the Quebecs, just two of the factions players will come across while exploring Orbis. What players might not know is that it takes much more than a few NPCs to make a world feel alive. In the most recent Hytale blog post, we get our first glimpse at some of the wildlife players will get the chance to interact with while exploring Zone 1. But before we dive into each critter, let's just quickly remind ourselves what we know about Zone 1. Zone 1 looks to be filled with lush vegetation, including towering trees, rolling hills, and a broad river that sweeps across the biome. If we take a look back at the World Gen concept art, we can see a small mountain range dotted with caves that leads to a pretty cavernous underground network of tunnels. To put it simply, it's a pretty zone that's pleasant on the eyes and helps players ease into the game with familiar landscapes and creatures. While players run, jump, and climb on the ground, Hytale looks to the sky to create that sense of life and movement. Sparrows will fly just above the players' heads, flapping their tiny wings and darting between trees and over hills. The team drops an important hint that even the Trorks can't keep their eyes off the birds and will sometimes become distracted and hurl their spears at the critters. We also get a look at another creature of the sky, the pigeon. It's just my guess, but being a frequent traveler of New York City, I fully expect these birds to spend time in the sky as well as at our feet, pecking away at anything they can get in their beak. Finally, we head underground as we get our first look at subterranean life on Orbis. Here, we see a pack of bats fluttering around in the glow of some pink crystals as they fly off looking for their next meal. Since we're underground, we may as well take our first look at rats. Notoriously pesky, the team has done a great job capturing the mannerisms and some of the classic tropes associated with the critters, such as the blood red eyes, naked tails, and buck teeth. It's no doubt we'll see plenty of these guys in the shadows as we cave dive across Zone 1. Back above ground, there are a host of ground-dwelling creatures that players can expect to run into, including a pack of deer. The team has done a wonderful job with these creatures, giving them features that make them seem both regal and docile. The big doe eyes and the vegetation hanging from the buck's antlers are beautiful touches that add so much life to these familiar creatures. And while it's unlikely that a pack of deer will be looking to harm you, players will have to watch out for the ever-territorial grizzly bear. Deadly in real life and apparently on Orbis, the grizzly bear is a highly territorial critter that will defend their land with ferocity. The team states that the grizzly bears become defensive when approached, but won't attack unless you refuse to get out of their way or directly provoke them. An angry bear will give chase to intruders, but won't pursue you beyond the bounds of their territory. An apt warning well ahead of launch, so players beware and take note that if you do attack a bear, the hurt animal will retreat and try and find a place to recuperate. If a bear is chasing you, trees may not be your best bet. The team also introduced us to the giant spider. And what good would those long legs be if the critter couldn't climb, right? Here we see the spider going vertical and climbing a thick tree in pursuit of prey. Life doesn't always have to be giant spiders, hungry bats, or beautiful deer. The team also shared some of their plans for ambient life in Zone 1. Players can expect critters like ducks and frogs to be scattered across the zone, giving each pond, each overturned tree stump character and charm. Going back into our archive, we've also seen some other creatures that could make their appearance in Zone 1, including foxes and rabbits. One of the first clips Hytale fans saw during the trailer reveal was a fox chasing a rabbit through a wooded forest, so it's safe to say players will also run across them throughout their travels. Finally, we can't forget our favorite farm animals, the mother hen and her chicks, which made their debut during the trailer as well. It's clear the farm we are seeing is built in Zone 1, which means chickens can be acquired or tamed very early on in the game. Now, collecting, taming, and herding animals are still wild fantasies in our heads, but in due time, I'm sure we'll learn more about how animals will play a bigger part in our Hytale experience. If you've been following our Hytale survey series, you're probably aware that animals, pets, and rideable mounts have come up a lot and are one of the most talked about features in the comments section. but I'm sure players will be happy to finally have a bit more information about the inhabitants of Orbis. With more zones, more biomes, and more worlds to explore, this is only the tip of the iceberg, so let us know what creatures you hope to see in the comment section below. And as always, feel free to join the Game Gurus in Discord, where we're always talking about Hytale and other great games. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching, and play on.